You think the problem is that you're not lifting heavy enough. It's not. The problem is that your muscles are under real tension for about 8 seconds a set. 95% of people training right now have this completely backwards. 6 exercises, no weights, 6 things nobody ever corrected for you. Here's why the normal approach fails. The second you add external load, your body starts borrowing. Momentum, bounce, half a range of motion, and the strongest joint in the chain quietly doing the work of the weakest one. So the number on the bar goes up and your body stays exactly the same. What that costs you is real. Wasted reps, elbows and knees that talk to you on cold mornings, and a plateau you've been blaming on your genetics for 2 years. Now about the number in the title. It's not 95% more muscle mass. Nobody grows a new body in 6 weeks, and anyone promising that is selling something. It's 95% more of your muscles actually doing work. A bench press asks a handful of prime movers to push, while the bench does your stabilizing for you. A Shaolin posture asks the arches of your feet, your calves, your adductors, your deep hip rotators, your spinal erectors, and every small muscle threaded between your ribs to hold a shape that wants to collapse. Same body, completely different percentage of it employed. Start with the one that looks like it isn't an exercise at all, the horse stance. You can probably squat something respectable. Now drop into a low horse stance, thighs parallel to the floor, shins vertical, chest tall, and try to hold it for 90 seconds. Around the 40-second mark, your quads start to buzz. By 60, you're shaking. That shaking is the point. Here's the mechanism. A squat rep gives your muscle a rest at the top of every single rep, and blood flows back in. A held position never lets go. Tension stays on, blood flow stays restricted, waste products build up, and your nervous system is forced to recruit your biggest, laziest, highest threshold muscle fibers just to stop you from collapsing. In plain language, the muscle never gets a break, so it has to call in the fibers it normally saves for emergencies. A barbell rep is a sprint. The horse stance is a wall you push against for 1.5 minutes. If you skip this, you build legs that are strong for 2 seconds and useless for 2 minutes, and your knees never learn to hold a position under fatigue. The fix is simple and horrible. Feet slightly wider than shoulder width, toes forward, sink until your thighs are parallel, tuck your tailbone under so your lower back flattens, and actively press your knees outward as if you're tearing the floor apart. 60 seconds, 3 rounds. The bonus is what happens to your tendons. Traditional Shaolin training has long built the low stances first for exactly this reason, because tendon and connective tissue stiffen and strengthen under long holds in a way they never do under fast reps. Stronger tendons mean knees that don't complain when you finally do load them. Second, your push-ups stopped working and you didn't notice. Watch someone do 20 push-ups. The elbows flare, the hips sag, the chest travels maybe 8 inches, and the whole thing takes 11 seconds. That's not a chest exercise anymore. That's cardio with your hands on the floor. And here's the part nobody says out loud. A push-up asks you to press roughly 65% of your body weight. The day you can do 20 of them, it stopped being strength training and became a warm-up. So get off the floor and get vertical. Dips, parallel bars, a dip station, the rails at any playground, or 2 solid chairs if that's what you have. You lower your entire body weight between your hands and press it back up. 100% of you, through a range of motion no bench press will ever give you. Dips have a reputation for wrecking shoulders. That reputation comes almost entirely from how people perform them, not from the movement. At the bottom of a dip, your chest and front delts are loaded in a deep, stretched position. And sports scientists commonly observe that muscles trained under load in that lengthened position grow more than the same muscle trained short and squeezed. On a bench, your shoulder blades are pinned flat against a pad and cannot move. On the bars, they glide across your rib cage exactly the way the joint was built to. Here's what most people get wrong, and it's 3 mistakes stacked on top of each other. They let the shoulders shrug up toward the ears at the bottom, which jams the joint shut. They drop as deep as gravity allows, years before their shoulders have earned that depth. And they hold the torso bolt upright, which quietly turns the whole thing into a triceps exercise and leaves the chest out of it. The fix: pull your shoulders down and back before the first rep and keep them there. Lean the torso forward about 20 degrees, lower over 3 seconds until your upper arms reach roughly parallel to the floor, not 1 centimeter further, no matter how flexible you feel. Pause 1 second, then press. 8 reps, 3 sets. If 8 is impossible today, keep your feet on the ground and let them carry part of the load. Or train only the lowering half. 5 seconds down, 5 reps. Leave this unfixed and you'll do push-ups for another 5 years while your chest looks exactly like it did in January. The bonus is the shoulder blades themselves. Free moving shoulder blades are the difference between pressing at 55 and not pressing at 55. Number 3 is different, because this is where most people find out what they've been hiding. Single leg work, the shrimp squat. Stand on one leg, hold the other foot behind you, and lower under control until your back knee kisses the floor. Most people who can squat with a bar on their back cannot do one clean rep. Here's why that matters. On 2 legs, your strong side silently donates 10 or 15% of every rep to your weak side, and you never see it. On 1 leg, there's no donation. Every stabilizer around your hip and ankle has to fire simultaneously. Your glutes have to work through a much longer range, and your spine carries nothing at all. If you never expose that gap, it doesn't stay a gap. It becomes a compensation pattern, then a hip that aches, then a knee that gives out on a step you've climbed 1,000 times. The fix: 4 seconds down, 1 second on the floor. Drive up through the heel of the front foot and keep your chest proud. 5 per leg is a real set. And here's the unfair truth nobody tells you. If you have long femurs and stiff ankles, your version of this will never look like the version you saw online, and no amount of trying will change your skeleton. Some people also just respond faster than you do. Same work, more muscle. That's not a reason to quit. It's a reason to stop copying someone else's shape and start improving your own numbers. The bonus is balance. Single leg strength is one of the clearest predictors of whether you stay independent in your 70s. Fourth, and this one erases everything you think you know about training your midsection. Get off the floor. Crunches train your abs through about 20 degrees of movement while your spine is already bent. Hang from a bar instead and do slow leg raises. Hanging changes the physics completely. Your abs are now loaded in a stretched position with the full weight of both legs on the end of a long lever. Your lats have to work isometrically to keep you from swinging, and your spine is being pulled long instead of crushed short. In plain terms, your abs work hardest at exactly the length where they're usually weakest. Skip it, and you get a midsection that looks trained and fails the moment real load shows up, which is when your lower back arches and takes the hit for it. The fix, in order: dead hang first. Then, before your legs move at all, tilt your pelvis under, as if you're tucking your tailbone toward your ribs. That single cue is what turns this from a hip flexor exercise into an ab exercise. Then raise your legs slowly and lower them over 4 full seconds. No swing, no kipping. 6 clean reps beats 15 sloppy ones. Bonus: your shoulders spend 30 seconds a day being decompressed instead of compressed, which is the opposite of what every overhead press machine does to them. Number 5 might be the most important thing in this video, because it builds the muscle that changes your silhouette faster than any other. Pressing your own body weight overhead, the pike push-up into wall handstand push-up. Bend at the hips so your body makes an upside-down V. Elevate your feet on a chair or a box, and press your head toward the floor and back up. The higher your feet, the more vertical the press, and the more of your body weight your shoulders are actually carrying. That's real load, far more than the little dumbbells most people press overhead. And unlike a machine, your hands are fixed and your body moves, which means your shoulder blades rotate freely through their natural path instead of being pinned in place. Neglect this, and you get the classic silhouette: decent chest, decent arms, and shoulders that vanish from the side. The fix: feet elevated to hip height, hands slightly wider than shoulders, head lowering to a point in front of your hands so your head and hands make a triangle. 6 to 8 reps, 3 sets, and only then move to the wall. Traditional Shaolin practice has always included inverted and weight-bearing work on the hands, and the reason is the bonus here. The same position that builds your shoulders also teaches your whole body to hold one rigid line under pressure. Your core gets stronger without a single sit-up. 6th, and this is the one that decides whether the other 5 leave you looking balanced or broken. Count what you've done so far. Dips, pressing, pike push-ups, pressing. Now count what your day already does to you. Every hour at a desk, in a car, on a phone, pulls your shoulders forward and closes your chest. Nothing so far pulls the other way. So the last movement is the one almost nobody trains enough of: hanging and pulling. Go back to that bar. Dead hang, shoulders pulled down out of your ears, then pull your chest toward the bar. Here's what makes this different from every rowing machine you've used. A machine anchors your torso and moves a handle. On a bar, the bar is the anchor and you move, which means your lats, your rhomboids, your mid-traps, your rear delts, and your forearms all have to solve the problem together, while your spine hangs decompressed instead of being crushed under load the way it is in a bent-over barbell row. The mistake is almost universal, and it happens in the first inch. People start the pull with their arms. The pull starts with the shoulder blades. Pull them down and toward each other first, then let the elbows follow. The other two errors, swinging the hips to generate momentum and craning the neck so the chin clears the bar while the chest never actually travels. If you can't do one yet, this is the honest progression. 60-second dead hangs, then 5 negatives, jumping to the top and lowering over 5 seconds, then your first clean rep. Most people who train it 3 times a week get there inside 2 months. And if you have no bar at all, lie under a solid table and row your chest up to the edge. The bonus is the thing you'll notice in photographs before you notice it in the mirror. Pulling drags your shoulders back where they belong, and posture is the fastest visible change in this entire list. Here's the whole thing. In 10 seconds. Horse stance, thighs parallel, knees pressed out, 60 seconds, 3 rounds. Dips, shoulders down and back, torso leaning forward, upper arms to parallel, 8 reps, 3 sets. Shrimp squats, 4 seconds down, back knee to the floor, 5 per leg. Hanging leg raises, tuck the pelvis first, lower over 4 seconds, 6 clean. Pike push-ups, feet elevated, head in front of the hands, 6 to 8, 3 sets. Pull-ups, shoulder blades before elbows, no swing, as many honest reps as you own, 3 sets, 3 sessions a week. Every single week, add 1 rep, 5 seconds, or 1 inch of range to one exercise.